No, I got it. All right, y'all, we're back here live at the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. Again, we're at the Omni Hotel in the CNN Center, getting ready for the big MEAC and SWAC championship game. South Carolina State versus none other than Jackson State. And here to speak with us a little bit, Dr. Thomas, how you doing, sir?
Absolutely good.
Man, I mean, what's this feel like? What's the energy like for you as we get ready to showcase two of the best programs around?
Well, you can't wait to the game to get energy. You got to bring it during the week.
Right.
Coach knows that.
Yep.
And you can't get you play the game on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You find out the score on Saturday. If you hadn't put the money in the bank on Monday, Wednesday,
Yes, sir.
Friday, ain't no deposit on Saturday.
Absolutely.
That's been my life effort
Okay.
in terms of really focusing in on achieving within the process
Okay.
and accomplishing goals.
Speaking of goals, what were some of your goals for this specific year?
Well, first of all, is to have the game
Okay.
and be in a position for both conferences to send their champion to this game.
Gotcha.
And because this pandemic, COVID, turns into the Delta virus and the Omicron virus.
Here we go.
All these things can derail the best laid plan.
Right.
And so I must give kudos to South Carolina State and Jackson State for persevering
Yes, sir.
and following the protocols and the cadence that's necessary from CDC and the local medical community. And when you do those kinds of things, then you have a chance.
Absolutely.
You have absolute chance.
Absolutely.
And even with the best of cadence and the best of guidance and advice from the epidemiologists and the infectious disease community, things can go wrong.
Sure. Sure.
You see it in the NFL.
We'll see it happening now. The games
You see
have
it in
been
the
canceled. Right.
NBA.
Right.
So that's why I give really kudos to Coach P and Coach Sam.
Speaking of coaches, we got one right here, Johnny Cole, who coached at Texas Southern. He hosts with me on.
Going to that Texas Southern.
Yeah, well, most recently.
Successful coach.
Yeah, everywhere he's been. I know he's got a couple of questions for you as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, first of all, we do a laid back show. I just want to let our crowd fans know that you awfully sharp.
Very sharp.
Very sharp.
Well, we have a SWAC Hall of Fame event
Yes.
this evening that I have to attend. And they told me I had to do the radio, so I didn't have time to go back to change. So I come just for the effect. But thank you for the compliment.
Well, you're also looking at a 2K inside, man.
What?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I want to give you a little background on my show.
Well, number one thing is this. I just got this ring from a dear friend today.
Oh, wow.
And I decided to work because I'm not a wing person.
Okay.
And so out of respect for him, I wore it today and I told him for
Right.
tonight. That's it.
Well, thanks. Let you know again. MEAC Commissioner, big game. Where could this game take Black college football? I'm glad that it's really the Black College National Championship. Where do you think we go from here?
Well, I want to just really say that it's been a pleasure to take the game from infancy, from its beginning until now.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a exponentially growth potential. I think we're a growth problem. And I think that the crowd tomorrow is going to give us an indication of what that growth can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel that you either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no flat line where I think about things. Either you're getting better or you're getting worse.
Gotcha.
So I think that we're getting better. with the Cricket Celebration Bowl. And I think if we keep doing the right kinds of strategies, the right kind of branding, the right kind of marketing, and if you get the right teams in here, because certain teams have a better problem than
Sure,
other teams.
absolutely, absolutely.
And South Carolina State and Jackson State, they bring crowds.
Now, it's funny you say that because we just saw the announcement where there's a new 6-year deal with a little,
ESPN.
little bitty group called ESPN and cricket.
We signed a 6-year extension. I guess that was back in March.
Okay.
But ESPN signed a 6-year extension with the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Okay.
So it'll be held in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the next 6 years.
So they really wanted this game.
So it's parallel.
Gotcha.
Yes,
They
absolutely.
really wanted this game.
Absolutely.
One of the things, and you can relate to this, and to let our fans know that some of these games and some of these crowds, back in the 60s and the 70s, people came out to see black college football. And it seems like, this window that we have right now to let people know that black college is strong, it's moving forward. Just kind of talk about, your involvement back in the day as compared to what's going on now.
Yeah, I think you make a very salient point, Coach Cook. And I think that we have reached a point where our fans, if you put a good product on the table for your fans, they're going to come out to see it. And I think that the product that we have here is for tomorrow's game, fans want to see it. And I think that back in the day, we were branding then. And really, it really started in the 30s.
Okay.
With Prairie View.
Okay.
Prairie View had a bowl game in the 30s. And then Jake Gaither started the Orange Blossom Classic.
Right.
See, this is not new here.
Right. We've been talking about that all day long.
That's what I want to pull out of it.
Yeah.
This has been going on, and it was in the Orange Bowl.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And white folks and black folks went to that game.
That's right.
And the best black teams played in
That game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we've been joined by a special guest.
This is
Snuck up on you.
I know.
Snuck up on you.
We got history in here now.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do me a favor, introduce her, if you will, to our we've got folks listening in Houston, Texas, and surrounding areas. Of course, that's SWAC country as well. So no disrespect, but it's still HBCU love all the way around the right. So go ahead, Dr. Thomas.
So it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce the commissioner-elect. I will be transitioning out of the commissioner position at the end of this month. And I am just overjoyed and elated to have a very talented,
Yes.
very intellectual,
Yes.
very enthusiastic,
Yes.
very confident,
Come on.
Yeah.
very proficient young lady
Yeah.
that will follow me, not in my shoes, because I can't wear hers and she can't wear mine. But without further ado, I'd like to bring on Commissioner-elect Sonia Stevens.
Hello.
Still.
Hello.
So good to have you. So good to have. Now, has it settled in yet?
No. It will.
Yep. And again, coming behind such an auspicious person as Dr. Thomas, what are your thoughts? What are your goals? What are your feelings? What your raw emotion actually?
Yeah, I mean, I am so thankful. I'm so humbled by the experience and just following somebody like this legend right here is just amazing. And so I just want to take his foundation and just, take my little twist to it and move it further.
You coach it. I was asked that question, what would you do if you came in and took over a program?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? Yeah.
I just need to add where it needs to be added and polish what needs to be polished.
Yeah, definitely.
That was great.
Definitely.
I've always, I'm a black college product. I played at Texas Southern. I had the pleasure of riding on the bus with some greats. Eddie Robinson, Marino Casson, W.C. Gordon. I know about Henry Nicks and the history. Uh, and what's happening now is like things coming full circle. With Dion coming, Sanders, which I think is a great addition. Over in the MEAC, you guys are you climbing out back out. I guess you got to build it back up again. What direction you go to build a MEAC back up to what it used to be?
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, the 51 years, we have gone through transition, I don't say transition, but, we've gone through realignment before. We still have 8 great institutions. We're still competitive. So, the thing about it is looking for other institutions who are going to align with us. Who's going to add to us. We're not in a hurry. We need to be strategic about, who we bring in. But I don't think we're down in the bottom. I think we're competitive now. I mean, we got South Carolina State here getting ready to get after Jackson State.
See. Hold on. Commissioner-elect, I was the one that picked South Carolina State because everybody was rocking with, Jackson State. I said, why not South Carolina State? They play football like everybody else.
Exactly right.
Yes, ma'am. So am I up in the commissioner box now? But you're right. You all have a phenomenal story to tell. So now it's adding chapters to an already well-written book.
Right.
Now I'm going to be nosy. Who are some of the schools that are calling trying to get in the book?
I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell us.
I couldn't tell.
Look, Commissioner Thomas dropped his head like, yeah.
I know one of the things, they got a legendary coach at South Carolina State.
Yeah, they do.
But he's been around.
Yeah.
And don't think that he's listening to all this.
Yeah.
And, I had an opportunity to play against him here once before when I was at Southern University. And we ended up beating them 11-6 in the Heritage Bowl. And we came in favorite. We were 11 and at that time we were 10-1. But we limped out of that game.
Wow.
He was ready. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be ready tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great opportunity. But history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lady Commissioner.
Yes.
I know you got to be feeling good about yourself. Kind of give us a little background of, how you come from here to here.
Yeah, it's a big step.
Well, I always tell the story, I back then, we didn't have athletic academic support programs. And when I graduated with my master's, I sent a letter to Dr. Thomas at Hampton and said, let me start your program. And, he called me, and then I called him back, and he wasn't there. And then he never called me again. So all right, shoot. I had to figure out another plan.
He was probably picking out another outfit.
Probably. It looked kind of snazzy. But, so from there, I went as assistant dean of women at Hampton, and I was fortunate that one of my bosses, the VP of Student Affairs, Dr. Rodney Smith, was the chair of the certification committee. And he arranged an interview with Dr. Thomas, and he hired me right then, and that's where my story began in athletics. And Dr. Thomas has challenged me. He threw me in there, and I can put my hands on the hip, say I'm not going to do this, and he says you're not going to tell me what you're not going to do, and then it gets done. I just got to go through my process.
Mm-hmm.
But we have done a lot of great things. Things that. He wants to see done, and to execute his vision. And so, and as a good employee, that's what you're there to do: execute their vision. And now it's my turn to execute my vision, and I think he has definitely set the foundation for me to go out there and do some work.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, there's been a lot in the news affecting HBCUs. Coach Sanders with a big win and getting a young man to turn from Florida State to Jackson State. And then, lo and behold, the state of Florida decides to put some legislation in place for NIL and things like that. What are your thoughts about NIL and things like that will keep the conference competitive and hopefully get some of those big wins like we saw with Jackson State, Alabama A&M, some of those other schools that have signed these quote-unquote top, ranked athletes?
Yeah, I think one of the things that um, we should be doing, or we are going to be doing as a conference, is looking at the looking after them regarding their when they're signing NLI.
Sure.
They don't know what they're signing. They could be
Yes.
signing their name away and not really understand the contracts that they're signing.
Mhm.
And so we want to be able to educate them.
Sure.
Work with our law schools to kind of provide the I don't want to say the structure, but the advice.
Okay.
So know what you're reading, know what you're signing, and thinking that you're just signing for one little thing. You'll sign it for anything for years to come.
Sure.
So I think that's very important to, not only provide them opportunities to find those NLI opportunities out there with corporate partners, but be able to do that responsibly.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for that.
But most definitely, I was asked that same question when we started the show.
Yep. That's right.
And I think that is a big issue of making sure we protect the kids and their careers and them. I mean, some of the parents don't even know how to fill financial aid packages out yet.
Right.
So I mean, you hit the nail on the head.
Look at the money, but not really. Yeah, I want to get to the money, but not really understanding the repercussions of them.
I hate to say it, but we're getting the hook, so we're going to have to turn them loose for other people. So, Dr. Thomas, Dr.
Right.
Steele, thank you so much.
Thank you
We
for
really
having me on.
appreciate both of you all.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right. God bless y'all.
All right.
Man, I gotta give you one of this.
Uh,
Oh,
hey, man.
oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you guys, man.
God bless you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Right.
Nice to meet you too. Can we get some pictures? Okay. Hold on one second. All right, y'all. We're getting ready to take a quick break, and then we'll come back on with our next guest. Yep, I am. You know I'm doing that.
Oh, you missed the picture? Sir?
Oh, absolutely. On three. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Appreciate you.
See you later.
Okay. You gotta be a little closer.
Thank you.
How you guys doing?
Fine, what about you?
Oh man, excited. All of it together. It seems like we finally getting the respect and the coverage that we've been needing. I'm a black college graduate myself, so
Which college?
Texas Southern.
Okay, Texas. Okay.
For the show, if you all would go ahead and introduce yourselves, and we're just glad to have you. We're out of Houston, Texas with KYOK.
Okay.
Got a show called The Lunch Break.
Okay, awesome. I'm Yolanda Clay Moore. I'm Director of Communications for Visit Jackson.
Okay.
And I'm Ricky Big Ben, President and CEO of Visit Jackson.
All right. Visit Jackson.
That's right.
What's happening in Jackson? Why you want people to visit?
Everything's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we have a light shine upon us right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot to offer. So we're glad that we have this new interest for some old things.
Sure.
We have been entrenched in civil rights, and you can't tell the civil rights story without Jackson, Mississippi, freedom riders, James Meredith, Medgar Evers, and we're just excited that right now is a time for us to shine.
I like hearing you say that. We talked about this earlier. I'm not going to drag you all down the rabbit hole, but there have been some prominent people with big voices and big platforms who have said things about schools like Jackson State. And why would somebody want to leave a UGA or an FSU or a TAMU and go to a Jackson State? It's more than just a school. It's the community. It's the family. It's a lot more. Don't talk to that person. Talk to the person that might be considering an opportunity in a Jackson, Mississippi.
Now, you guys are born and raised in Jackson. Now, you guys always had following when you look at the football side and you look at the fan base side. Jackson State has always been in the top
Traveled well,
five
yes, yeah,
and coming
very
out,
supportive.
Yeah.
you know, and it seems like with Dion, it's been a shot of B12. Kind of talk about
Straight
that.
adrenaline.
No chasing.
I like the question you asked. Both of us happen to be HBCU alums. So
Okay.
Yolanda Tougaloo College and I'm Mississippi Valley State University. Now we represent Jackson, Mississippi, and all of the schools in Jackson. We have to be, we have UMC, University of Mississippi Medical Center, Tougaloo College, Jackson State, Belhaven, Bill Sam. So we are an academic haven. But there is something about the HBCU experience. It's not, and as I get older, it's not only just my memories of what happened when I was in college, but those relationships now are fortified. We're now sharing in, our children graduating and illness of our parents, and we're closer than we've ever been. I don't think you get that in PWI. And so, you have to take, and also things, sometimes standing in line a little bit longer in registration teaches you those real life stories and how to deal with, because everything in life is not going to be easy.
Right.
But if you get through HBCU and graduate, you can make it in life successful.
Right.
That's the other aspect of what you learn in the classroom is great, but you got to take the other stuff and apply it to real life stuff to be successful.
Sure.
And it's just community. That's the word that I would say, community. Really knowing that you have the support of your community, that they really love you for you, not because of how fast you ran down the field. When you get hurt, they still love you. You're not thrown away. So those kind of things are important as well. And it's just a community and family.
That's great. That's great. I mean, again, it's a great city. It's a great community, has a lot to offer. We come from a big town in Houston with millions on top of millions of people there. Talk about the difference between an area like that and Jackson.
Well, we call ourselves Jackson. We're the city with soul. We call ourselves the city with soul because we don't have a statue or an arch. We got the most amazing people in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to Jackson and you get lost at the red light, roll down your window and ask somebody, they'll either tell you or say, "Get behind me and follow me," and I'll take you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can't replace that.
Right.
It may not happen in a large
That's nostalgic.
city,
Yeah.
Well,
but
it's
it
funny.
happens in Jackson, Mississippi every day.
Yeah.
You funny you said that. I was coming over there to go over to Jackson State. And, I said, "Where's Jackson State?" "Oh, this way." But having this game, how many you guys bringing? How many you think you bringing? What's the estimate you bringing to me?
How many does a stadium hold?
We'll fill it up. They can watch it from the outside. I love it. I love it.
Well,
I don't know if there's anybody in Jackson, okay?
we said we're in the wrong debate. This is the time to do it. We were talking about, Jackson and, who was going to win and, Prairie View going to come. I said, there's no way Prairie View. The only way they're going to win is they bring God with them to beat Jackson at 50,000 fans.
And see, Dion already signed him up. So
Yeah. It's no way that they're going to win. But, I had the pleasure of also playing football and coming out to Jackson and playing Jackson State. I remember the days in the 80s. Had great players, great coach in the W.C. Gordon. I want to let everybody know. They say the first time.
right. That's so important.
W.C. Gordon, he won
That's very
8 SWAC
important.
championships.
Yes.
And sending the kids to pros like it wasn't nothing. One of the greatest running backs to play in the NFL is Jackson State.
That's right. Walter Payton.
Yeah, so
I love it.
I know a little bit. I know a little bit. So
That's all right.
They beat up on me a little bit too.
They went, yeah. Listen, we want to thank you for your time. We want to wish you well tomorrow. And he's got Jackson State in that game. I'm still waffling. Y'all gonna pray for me?
You come around.
He's a black sheep child.
I like the underdogs.
Always you see all the kids going that way and be like, man, I'll beat
That's
y'all around.
really true.
One thing before we leave, we want to invite your listeners to come to Jackson, Mississippi. Next year, we're celebrating 200 years of existence.
Oh, wow.
So it's our bicentennial year, and the theme is homecoming. So whether you're from Jackson or not, you still feel at home.
That's all right. Thank you for that.
And most if we get your name and number, so when that come up, that we come
We
up,
can definitely promote
make
it.
sure we can contact each other.
Yeah.
We will bring you guys on the show, and you can.
Awesome.
Okay, awesome.
And when you get to Jackson, we're gonna take you out for a great meal.
Oh, okay.
And wait, what's Jackson known for? What's the delicacy or the good food in Jackson?
Just say it. It's good food.
Good food.
We got catfish, but
Yes.
we also
Yeah,
have we have all kinds of culinary offerings. So whatever your palate wants, you can find it in
You can
Jackson.
find it in
That's gonna be best in your
I heard people can cook in the sip, so I'm looking forward to coming.
Most definitely.
I'm looking forward to coming. Again, thank y'all for joining us right here on the
Thank you
lunch
very
break,
much.
okay? All right, God bless y'all. All right.
Wow.
Y'all see how we
enjoying
doing it. Y'all see how we doing. We got some great folks stopping by here on Media Row. We are getting ready for this big game. So again, y'all, we want y'all to stay in tune. We've got Commissioner Charles McClellan coming by in just a little bit, and we're going to be letting y'all know about the bicentennial coming up in Jackson, Mississippi. And listen, we might do a contest or something to take a busload of folks over there to be a part of the bicentennial. So again, we want to thank them for stopping by, and God bless you too. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to getting some of that sip food. I'm looking forward to getting. She went to Tougaloo. All right.
Yeah, that was the hub, the safe haven during the civil rights movement.
Okay.
One way in, one way out.
The safe haven during the civil rights movement. One way in, one way out. So, all right, we just kind of wait. Coach, let me see if I can get us both in here. Look, let them see you. They see me all the time. But yeah, what do you think about that, man? They really told a good story about Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, there's a history, our history and our culture, about Jackson, Mississippi, and Mississippi, period. I had a lot of experience in Jackson. I recruited to Jackson area, and of course, being a former player, you get to travel around Jackson, Edabina, Alcorn, Natchez, Normal. I remember a story. I was down there when I was a young coach, and we was playing Alcorn, and that night we went out and heard Dee Dee LaSalle. That was the first time I've heard of that, and blues music. Being a northerner myself, that was an experience in learning my culture and where I come from, and it was just a great experience.
Sure.
So it ain't just the country; it's the city as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting is I really felt a taste of Mississippi right there. I felt the Mississippi energy. I felt the Jackson energy. I felt like, there was legacy sitting there representing a whole lot of people.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the two clients we just had coming up, they feel Jackson.
You felt that pride, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, and see, you might have got some of this too. My mom would tell me before I left that door, now, don't forget you got family. Don't get out there and act like you're not representing our name and our family. And it's like that with their hearts from Jackson. I felt like they were representing a whole lot of people.
Yeah, and then one of the things you've seen, and they knew that, Jackson State has always had a major following. They've been in the top 5 in one way football as long as, I've been affiliated, for 40 years. They've always had great athletes, and what Coach Sanders brings is like what Coach Sanders, W.C. Gordon brings. He brings leadership.
Right.
And that's always important. So we ever don't want to forget about our past.
Yep.
Because our past has promoted our future.
And you know what? I believe in my heart that Coach Sanders understands that he's walking on a platform that's already been built.
Yes.
There are a lot of folks that are outside of that who want to make it seem like he's putting every nail, every brick, every board in it, when the reality is, I believe he knows that he's standing on a platform that somebody else built.
And if you believe that's not true, then shame on you.
Yeah.
You've been missing it.
Correct.
We've had it. I've tasted the flavor. That's why I love black college football. That's why I'm successful. And one thing about success, it's not money. It's doing something that you enjoy.
Right.
It's being a part of something that you enjoy. And
Yep.
I've been able to do both.
Yep.
Been able to make a living and being a part of it. And also now on the outside looking in, being a part of it still,
Yep.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's us, it's by us, it's for us.
Once you've been a part of it, you're always a part of it. You don't lose your connection to black college football when when you're no longer coaching or when you're no longer playing, right?
Yes. And that's the thing, if I had to to say something about us as a culture. You know, we got to hold on to those days. We got to hold on to those superstars. We got to hold on to those memories because then we can, you know, appreciate where we are,
Right.
where we're going.
Right.
This was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, your Eddie Robinsons said this was gonna happen.
Man,
Jay
he
Gibbons,
did he? Yeah.
This was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Geno Casson, you know, these late superstar coaches said that this was big house games.
Mm-hmm.
This was gonna happen, and it happened. And you know, and really, I don't know why we just don't call it the Black College National Championship.
That's what I call it. That's
You know
what I call
what
it.
I'm
And again, no shade to Winston-Salem, and no shade to Alabama State, no schools like that. But what would be great if there's one day where we can get all of them involved in some kind of playoff and really go out. I know some of those are Division II schools and what have you.
You know, when I'm dreaming about blackness and MEAC and the SWAC, you know, that's always been one of my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
That both teams come together,
Mm-hmm.
pick their big championship games,
Mm-hmm.
and see if we can package them together
Mm-hmm.
and go sell them to the
That'd be
big
great.
stations.
That'd be great.
You know,
That'd be great.
and I'm not talking about asking for 2, 3, 4 million. I'm talking about asking for 40, 50, 60, or maybe 100 million.
Because it's worth that. It has that value.
And that you could see that they take those classic games
Mm-hmm.
and you see 70,000,
Yeah.
50,000, 30. People think we play on the cornfield.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not true.
Right. Yep. Yeah, we're broadcasting live again. Let me turn it back around to me for a second. We're broadcasting live again from the Celebration Bowl here in Atlanta, Georgia. Here we go, Coach. We've been side by side all day today, broadcasting live for this cricket Celebration Bowl. Again, there's been an announcement that there is an extended contract with cricket and the MEAC and the SWAC, and ESPN has extended their contract for 6 years with the Mercedes-Benz Stadium for that game. So that just gives you an idea how important this is and how valuable it is to the business community and to a major network like ESPN. And even there, it might be growing, but the momentum didn't just start at the beginning of this season. The momentum with this has been going for a period of time.
Fortunately for us, it wasn't an athletic event that started these doors open. Unfortunately, it was an unfortunate accident, with the Floyd incident and, all the tragic deaths that we've had, in the police shootings and it just brought us together as a race. Now we're getting the visibility that we need, and that's all about sacrifice.
Correct.
Martin Luther King sacrificed his life.
Absolutely.
He told you in his speech that he wasn't gonna get there.
Right.
Basically, he's telling me that I'm not gonna see the end.
Yeah.
So all these things have happened in our history, and we got to move forward, but we can't ever forget.
Right. No,
that's always been my thing.
You have.
You can't forget. And we got to glorify our stars.
Yep. Al Hyde just said, "What's up, Coach?" He is a host of a podcast called The Casual Highlight. And we're about to do some collaboration with them. And that young man up at the top there with it says Ben Sutter III, he's got a radio network called BS3 Radio. And he's about to put on some Roku and Apple TV and Fire Stick and all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, we're real ready. In fact, our first show this coming Monday will be broadcasting on that network and we'll be broadcasting on Roku TV. Wow. Yeah, so... on Monday, when we come back from here in Atlanta, we will be a part of the BS3 radio network, and we'll be broadcasting live on Roku and all of the other different networks that are associated with that. It hits somewhere about 65 million homes.
Wow.
Well,
one of the good things about it is that we're not afraid to speak our minds and speak what's real, and we got facts behind it.
Let me tell you something. That's who we are. That's who we are. And I keep saying, if we don't tell it, we see that the folks, I'm going to stop giving them energy, but we see that they're not going to tell it. Coach, we ran into somebody downstairs in the restaurant that knows a little bit about winning as well. Head coach of North Carolina A&T, formerly of the MEAC. Talk about him and just what he's done.
Coach Washington, now head coach of North Carolina A&T. He's, of course, they're in a PWI conference. So
Yeah, they moved this
first.
year from the MEAC to the Big South Conference. Yeah.
And he started his career as a player at Mississippi Valley, also as a coach there, where he was a part of some good Mississippi Valley football teams. And he went on to go to Grambling under Coach Broadway, where they won a championship with Coach Washington. You know, me and him had some battles. You know, I'm offense coordinator at Alabama State, and you know, just a good man. He stands for good things. His players, they play hard for him, and he was elevated to Grambling as the head coach with Coach Broadway, and that'll tell you right there.
That says a lot.
Coach leads.
Yeah.
Great coaches, Coach Broadway, and said, "This is the guy."
Yep.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, he definitely hand tapped him as his heir apparent, and hadn't had much drop off at all.
Yeah, they both left Grambling and went to North Carolina A&T and done the same thing up there, and Coach Broadway ended up handing the baton off to him.
In fact, I was at this game, not last year, but the year that North Carolina A&T took on Alcorn in this game, and it was all A&T. It was all A&T.
From the word go.
Yes, sir.
I got a chance to see it on television, and you know, they got after us pretty good.
Yeah, and again, he had some tough games in the Big South. I was telling him that I almost got fired again. I'm always almost getting fired. But when they played against Duke this past season, there was a broadcaster in the booth working for ESPN that made the statement that Duke should not be struggling this hard with a lesser opponent. And that struck me really hard because I know Coach Washington puts everything in it that he has. I know that those kids practice as hard, if not harder, than the kids at Duke, than the kids at Syracuse, than the kids at Wake Forest and all these other ACC schools, and to just be minimized like that in a quick clip, you know, that they are just a lesser opponent. Now, mind you, at the time, A&T was winning that game. A&T was right there in that game. And he talked about a couple of things that happened in that game that turned the tide of the game. But, I mean, you coached in games like that. How does it feel to know that all your hard work, all your hard efforts are minimized to a lesser opponent?
Well, you know, I'm hoping that we don't charge it to his head and not his heart.
Okay. That's why I'm glad I didn't get him.
There's some games, you know, when you're in the coach that you're supposed to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, some people call them money games. You know, but you know the thing about it, Duke is really not, you know, a team or a school or a football program
Mm-hmm.
that anybody is lesser than.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it ain't like they just had a big history in the football side of it of winning.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, maybe he could have reworded that.
Yep.
Because, you know, now you're talking about young student athletes that's out giving their hardest, and you don't want to call anybody lesser than.
Right, and that was the thing that got me, because I just minimized it too. You got 11 kids on that side on offense, you got 11 kids on the side on defense. You got 11 kids on that side on defense, you got 11 kids on this side on offense. So, you know, everybody had on helmets, everybody had on pads. You know, so what
You said that they ice water ain't colder than ice.
you know,
You got to calm down.
I know I gotta get to that point, man, where I don't let that kind of stuff just constantly rile me up. But man, these kids, you a coach. These kids matter.
Yes.
Their parents matter. A lot of folks don't take into account the grandmothers and the aunts and the cousins and the nephews that had to sacrifice for some of those kids to even be where they are. And then they're in your care. And you as a coach, guess what? You matter. Your time matters. So, you know, I want us to be careful about the whole lesser opponent thing and taking this lightly and not valuing the work that people like you and your staff put into this.
Ain't no doubt that that wording is no place for that word. And the only thing matters is the student.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
But you banged this drum for a while. We ourselves have to believe that we're not lesser opponents. We ourselves have to believe that our kids at Texas Southern, at Jackson State, at South Carolina State, at A&T are not at a lesser school. They're not at a stepping stone school. They're at a launch pad, man. That's going to launch them to the rest of their lives.
No questions. It's big. Yeah, it's big. It's big.
Yeah. I think we've got.
Doc, you got 5?
Oh, quicker. Okay, all right. We were waiting for Commissioner McClellan from the SWAC to come through, but yeah, it looked like he has to run over to the Celebration Bowl gala. So we didn't get we did hear from the MEAC commissioners. So we'll just have to fill in the blank for the SWAC commissioner. Just off the top of your head.
Let me get over there and be the SWAC commissioner.
Okay, you know what? This is, and I'm gonna switch it around for him too. Standing in for SWAC commissioner is not Dr. Charles McClellan, but none other than Johnny Cole.
How you doing, everyone out there? Glad we had an opportunity to come and talk with you guys about the big game tomorrow. And, we're looking forward to a big crowd, a good game, and 2 great coaches.
Well, man, listen, I'm going to put you on the spot. What kind of job do you think Commissioner McClellan is doing with the SWAC?
I think he's doing a pretty good job. He grew up in the SWAC, so he knows some in and outs. The thing about Charles, is that his father has been in athletics since he was a little kid. Mm-hmm. So he has some idea of the direction that he wants the conference to go. I was excited to hear that he's going to be helping Mississippi Valley out with scholarships. I think that's very important, and hopefully he get around to helping Pine Bluff out as well, and any other school that we have in our conference with scholarships to give them the maximum so we can get more parity in the conference. I thought that was a smart move. So, he's been around. He started over at Prairie View A&M and moved on to Texas Southern, and now he's the commissioner of the conference.
I like that too, because I feel like you're only as strong as the weakest team in your conference, and if you're going to prop that team up that needs a little help, that school up that needs a little help, that it just helps the conference overall.
Without a doubt, and hopefully Valley can get there and start competing for a title. I don't think they competed for a title one time. That was in '84, 1984. It hadn't even been close before then or even afterwards. Yeah. So it's a good move. I think Coach Dancy over there is doing a good job and moving them in the right direction and hoping this boost of getting more scholarships and giving them more opportunities to get better players end up helping them out.
Well, Coach, on that note, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll be back on Monday with the HBCU Stroll. And for those who have not heard, we'll be broadcasting live on Roku. We'll be telling you more about that. Again, Ben Sutter III, BS3, thank you, man, for the opportunity. And, Coach, thank you for making time for us.
And thank those guys for thinking that much of us, giving us an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. It means the most to me. I still got a lot to say. Hopefully, we can help folks out there and help our people who look like us. Thanks to you again. By us, for us. Looking forward to getting on there on Monday and starting off another season of basketball.
Well, Coach, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Everybody, y'all be safe out there. We'll tell you what's happening tomorrow live from, there I go with these updates. Live from the Celebration Bowl. Y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
This goes on to show how big of a threat HBCUs are to the PWIs. Lane Kiffin must have been on drugs with his comment. That's my brother. He has the slave owner mentality.